Hey guys, Lost here, and don't really have, this is kind of on the spot just because I haven't made a video in a while, and I've already talked about this on my TikTok, but I want to talk about it with you guys on YouTube, as this is something that's very important, and yeah, it's, you know, it's been covered to hell and back, but I want to give my thoughts and talk about it with you guys, and that is the fact that physical games, at least on PlayStation's side, will be they'll be no longer making physical games in 2028, which has been giving them hella backlash, as there's so many people, like, anytime they post anything, they are literally like I remember when they finally posted something in there, like, you can now get this fight stick, and it's like, oh cool, is that digital too? It's like, yikes. Ooh, that's no bueno. It's crazy. It's like, and I think one of the employers came out and was like, I'm sorry if my dogs are looking around in the background and all that, hanging out, but it's coming out being like, we're just trying to make the most money possible, and it's like, you don't need more money, got enough money. It's like, what are you just, it's not enough, and it's never going to be enough. I understand it's a company, they're greedy bastards, I know, but still, physical media, it, getting rid of that is just like a big old slap in the wiener, dude. Absolutely just atrocious. What in the hell, man? What are we doing? It's rough. It's been rough, and I've seen so many people just like unsubscribing to PlayStation Plus, straight up just selling their PS5s and going with a Nintendo Switch 2. It's wild. Like, I don't know. Obviously, they're still gonna make money. There are so many people that are just like, and I don't care. It's not like I bought physical games anyway, and it's like, that's cool and dandy, but that's not how it is for majority of us. Majority of people go get their games, especially kids. Like, a lot of kids go to the store, pick up a game. I like picking up games. I like my physical games. I love putting them in my shelf. You can't see them. It's like this, this, still cleaning up this room and all that, because but still, the point is, sorry if I get off track again. This is just on the spot, just so I got nothing. But a lot of gamers like me like to keep things physically, especially like keeping the games on the cards. That's why game key cards were such a big issue. Not in the way it should have been, though. A lot of people are just getting mad at it and just blaming Nintendo. I'm not going to get into that whole can of worms, because it's not Nintendo. It's just them telling you that, hey, this is what they decided to do, just so you know. It's like, so it's nothing on Nintendo. At least they're telling you, unlike PlayStation, where nothing's on that disc anymore. It's just a code. But it's also a matter of preservation as well, because we're in a point where so many games are dying out, and then you just have no way of playing them. And this is more so, it's not like plenty of like big titles that are on consoles today, but it's going to be a problem eventually. As you know, a lot of people play gacha games. I know, gacha games, gross. I play some. Used to play a lot. I've played many. As you know, just download on your phone, play something, and they're really fun. I generally don't spend a ton of money. I don't, spend thousands of dollars on these types of games. It's not worth it. It's really not. But that's not the point. Is that games like these, Union Cross, Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, Dark Road, and Brave Exvius, I'm listing specifically Square Enix stuff because it's usually them, because recently they have announced that Ever Crisis is going to be shutting down. I think it was later this year. I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure it was fall of this year. And it's like, great, are we going to get an offline version of this? And now they also are bringing the question of, are we? Because they are bringing Final Fantasy Resonance out, and that is essentially just Brave Exvius, but for home consoles, which is something I've wanted for a long time. I loved Brave Exvius. This is super cool, and I want them to do this for Ever Crisis, because this was advertised as the game that is going to be essentially for people who want a more modern, or like just an OG7, but with modern graphics, but still relatively plays the same, So I hope they do something with that, because they have now brought that upon us now, like, oh, can we get more offline versions? I know they're not the first. You have stuff like Mega Man X Dive, I think, offline. They brought that too, where it just was a full game from the gacha game, and it was great. We need stuff like that, especially with now Nintendo Mario Kart Tours ending as well, and they have no offline version plan. Bummer. Please do it. People will pay a flat fee to have that, all of it. But essentially, yeah, we're getting to a point where video games are getting harder and harder to preserve, and that's why a lot of people like me like that the games are actually on the discs, cartridges, because then we can just have them. It's ours, and we can also preserve them. We can play them whenever we desire to, and now we know that essentially digital licenses can be just taken away from you, and that is the biggest problem with PlayStation taking away physical media, because if you get it digitally, you can get it taken away at any time. It's not like they're going to now. It's like, but eventually they can, as their deal with a company that we're producing for the, what is it? Hold on, I'm trying to remember. They removed a bunch of movies off their platform with no refunds for anyone that purchased those movies. Now it's like, yes, those are movies, but still the same thing applies with video games. And it seems like, sometimes, I don't know if the whole account shutting down thing is real. I haven't seen that. But I have seen people needing to sign in and be on the internet to access said games, and that's already like, you cannot play those without an active internet. And it's not every game. I'm not saying it is, but I have seen, some people run into those cases where they just cannot access their game because they're not online. So that's the scary part. And now we're also moving to a more subscription-based stuff where everything's part of a subscription. Now, I don't mind it as much when it's like a bonus and it's online, but it's more so things like Game Pass where it's like just that's what they're going for. Then you'd have Netflix now adding games. It's like now it's all going to a subscription rather than actually just that's not so much of an issue now, but I'm just saying that's kind of where we're headed towards, digital subscriptions, and it has been like that for a while. But that's the issue, is that that's kind of the future we're heading towards, and it really sucks. So now that I've rambled, a bunch of stuff to happen, and the main problem, now I want to bring up the question is like, what should you really do? Should you really continue to play PlayStation and all that? Because I know a lot of people love PlayStation. I do too. It's one of I've always been Nintendo, PlayStation. My whole life growing up, it's always been Nintendo and PlayStation. That's more so of a you question, but honestly, I don't think you should. As a lot of people are, kind of boycotting them by, no longer buying games on there, being like, oh, don't support them. And, a lot of the time I'll be like, it's, it's preference. But this is something major that will affect video games majorly. Not being able to go get them physically, not only just for physical collection purposes, as said, but also preservation. It seems more and more that they just want to make sure they can take it away from you as well. They don't actually care about keeping them, which for people like me, this is an art form. This isn't just like, oh, bebop, boobop, all this crap. No, this is a form of art. So many talented people go into making these games, making the art, making the music, the talent needed to, even put these things together. Because no average Joe Schmoes like me that like, yeah, I know technology. I could admit I can't make a game like that. I can't make, games like Expedition 33 and stuff like that, and stuff like that takes talent. And then just to know that that can be like either taken away from you or just not preserved isn't it's not okay. It's not. So that's why I'm saying you don't have to. Obviously you don't have to. Like, if you still want to play PlayStation, that's fine. It's just, I guess, whenever we get to that point of physical media, I would strongly advise that you do not support them. I would stop now. But if you like, if the PlayStation is your main platform, I would at least say whenever they stop physically making stuff, please do not support it. Just because they need to know that this is bad. Not that it's going to change anything. It's a major company. They can do what they want. It's your money. You can do what you want. But me personally, I will not be supporting PlayStation. At least, not as much as I was. Again, it was one of my main platforms. Not my main, but, when it came to video games, it's either my Switch or my PlayStation. And I cannot, in good conscience, just keep giving them money knowing that they just want to destroy all physical media. That's why I highly suggest getting one of these. No, this has caused so much controversy, but so many misinformation. I'm not going to get into all that. But me personally, I would get one of these, as it's not only, obviously because put it in a dock, play it on TV, as now main third-party games can now play, major third-party support is on this. So many games like Cyberpunk, obviously when it first came out, Devil May Cry, and Devil May Cry is crazy. If you guys have not seen Devil May Cry 5 on this, it can hit up to 120 FPS. Yes, on this thing. It is insane what this little thing can do. This can play modern titles, and now more and more games are coming out for this. And of course, we'll eventually get more stuff to cater for this, and a lot of developers are saying it's super easy to actually optimize games for this. And it seems like this is honestly the future. Like, I know I'm glazing it so hard, but not only is it just my favorite because it's literally what I wanted. Switch, I can play modern games. But honestly, another thing as well, these Fire Emblem. They are also still continuing to do physical media. And now I can't say they'll do that for long, but it does seem that they're really the only ones trying to push to keep these. As they kept their digital games are now cheaper than their physical games, as account for that physical cost. So it's like, oh, if you don't want to pay, a full, the full price for having it physically, you do want it digitally, well, then you can get it cheaper. You don't have to pay that cost. But if you want it physically, you do got to pay that cost. And to me, that makes sense. Okay, fair enough. It sucks that, it's no longer the same, but it makes sense. It's fair, fair enough. And they're also not doing, massive layoffs and stuff like that. I'm not saying Nintendo isn't greedy. They sure as hell are. So, saying. But I definitely, if I were y'all and you want to continue playing games and don't want to support Sony because what they're doing is absolute bullshit, defo get one of these. Absolutely get one of these. These will be supported for so long, and it seems like, this is just, they're just going to make more powerful Switches. The third-party support for this is amazing. Games run beautifully on this. Beautifully. Again, y'all seen it. Cyberpunk runs pretty damn well on this. Final Fantasy VII Remake. That is a game I have played firsthand on this because I wanted to play it on my Switch too, and I'm also probably going to get Rebirth as well and end up getting Revelations on this probably because I'm not buying it on PlayStation. I'm not supporting them. They can sell my butt. I don't care. Beautifully. Plays beautifully. But if you don't want to, you don't have to. Of course, there's Steam. That's fine. Steam is great. I personally don't use it as much. I do have Steam Library. It's not, completely massive since I don't have the best PC in the world, but I do have a Steam Deck and stuff. So obviously, if you still want to handle that and you already been paying, it's fine. You can stick to those. I wouldn't really worry about Valve trying to take your games or anything like that. They're pretty damn good. And Xbox, that's up to y'all. I don't really like what they're doing. Again, massive layoffs, buying every company left and right. Not that Sony isn't doing it, but and then just shutting it down. There's so many things wrong. So many things wrong. So just in my opinion, I wouldn't. But again, it's your choice. I'm just saying, if you want to continue playing games but don't want to support these awful choices, get a Switch 2 or just stick to Steam. You don't have to. I know a lot of people don't like Nintendo, but honestly, and yeah, I know expensive. Not really. They'll go on sale at some point. Go get them used. If you don't want them used, you do like them new, because me too. I do prefer new stuff. They will eventually go on sale, either in store or on the shop. I don't know why so many people are like, they're still expensive. I know years later it's still $60. I know that does suck. I will not lie, but these games do go on sale, especially during holidays. It's not like they're forever just $60 or $70. But yeah, that is, I know I said a lot of just here and there, but again, I didn't really have anything prepared for this. I just kind of want to talk to you guys because this is such an awful situation that we're in. Video games is now becoming more of a luxury than just really just enjoyment, entertainment, and appreciation. It sucks. As someone this is like literally, it sounds sad, but this is like my whole life. I play video games every day. I love them. I appreciate them, and I'm trying to ease my way into content creation. I want to be a voice actor, so to be in video games, because I appreciate these so much. These this is art to me. It is art. It is art. So much talent and creation goes into these, and now companies, because they're greedy, want to start stripping these games away from us little by little so they can keep the money, but it's like not having to pay as much. It's insane to me. So again, I'm just repeating stuff. I'm sorry. That's just how I am. Support them if you want. Don't. It's your call. But I suggest you guys either switch over to a Switch 2 or go to Steam, as I don't really like Xbox is doing. But you might still love Xbox, and that's fine. Keep doing the thing. I know that they're trying to plan a way so you can insert discs and get a digital code for that. Not that really solves the problem, but I guess it's a solution. Not that it's good. So I know they were like try to leap in while Sony was getting bashed on left and right, and everyone's like, "You think this looks good?" It doesn't. You literally should have just said, "We'll keep making physical games," and you would have gone to everyone. Like, I thought it was pretty simple, but yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy how now video games are such a luxury. It really sucks that not everyone can just go out, pick a game up, and just play it. It's definitely something where you gotta spend a pretty penny if you want to be playing games. And Switch, that's why I say the Switch 2, get it. It is the cheapest option. If you don't have a PC, building a PC is going to be super expensive. And a Steam Deck, it's so much higher than it is before, and it's not worth that performance. In my opinion, it was kind of worth it back then, but it's not going to play AAA games that well unless you do a lot of finagling. Not a lot of people like to do that. And again, it's just like you can only push so much up. And this is by far your cheapest option. It's going to be $500, but I mean, it is your cheapest way of continuing to play games. It looks pretty damn good, and it's on the go. It's handheld, so can't really complain. It's the best of both worlds. Glazing it, I know I'm glazing it. It's my favorite console, but I genuinely think it's the best bang for your buck if you do not want to break the bank. Because now PS5s and Xboxes cost about almost $1,000 now. It is genuinely insane just how out of hand this stuff is. So, with that being said, I've been rambling. Just wanted to get a lot of my thoughts out there as to what's been happening for the past like month or so. It's been crazy. I give a couple of suggestions for you guys that want to keep playing games but don't want to spend an absurd amount of money or want to support terrible companies. Not that, again, I'm not saying these Nintendo is all sunshine and rainbows. It's definitely it's definitely something, but I think at the end of the day, when it comes to the consumer, the stuff you consume, games and all that, this I will recommend this. But yeah, this is all over the place. I'm so sorry. But for those who stuck to the end of the video, I appreciate it. Please give me your thoughts in the comments. If you have other suggestions for people to do, please put them there. I want to make sure that we can all continue to appreciate video games, not just as just some plaything, but as also an art form. This is pieces of work that need to be preserved and just not let go to time or be companies that decided they needed more money for some reason. They're taking the love away. It's sad. It's really sad to me. It's like, you may think it's, grown man, being sad over video and blah, 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 blah. But genuinely, these sucks. And video games are something that I hold near to my heart. And I know so many others do too. So, again, thank you for sticking to the end of the video. If you have any suggestions or, you have anything to add to this, or anything else, please tell me in the comments. I want to talk to you guys. I want to keep this, going, try to help each other out and, continuing to play games and not having to deal with these crappy companies. There's only so much we can do, I know, but I think instead of trying to compare and fight each other on what's better and this and all that, let's just try to enjoy games. Let's just talk about them. These are things we love. The reason we should be fighting nail and tooth over it's like, ew, you gotta switch to 30 FPS, it don't matter. What matters at the end of the day is that these are things that we enjoy. We should be able to express that love with other people. So, this time, for real, that's all I have. With that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. See y'all.